mean, Houston, on the other hand,
they're just mowing down everybody.
Yeah, I mean, listen, again, it's going to be hard to judge them because they're playing in the AAC this year, and the AAC just isn't very good. So a lot of people are going to have like similar questions to maybe Gonzaga, right? Gonzaga gets hit. Houston won't get hit quite as hard because the names still look a little better, right? Memphis, Cincinnati, like some of the names, Wichita State, even though they're not very good. But ultimately, I still have a ton of confidence in this Houston team. I do. I mean, Sasser at 20 today. Roberts at 20 today. They got a lot of dudes who can hurt you. A lot.
They're right up there. So we're going to talk about the tiers in a second. But the thing that makes them so impressive to me, there's two reasons. One, they have the makeup of the two guards that you need to be able to make plays in the backcourt. And two, they have a defined identity and a culture to play the way they want to play. And included in all of that is a guy that might end up being a top 5 pick in Jarris Walker.
Right. I mean,
they playing unbelievable.
Listen, they shot 3 for 17.
This dude, Jarris Walker, is 6'8" with a 7'2" wingspan and built like a fucking defensive end.
And he's skilled. You got 3 guards that can all handle it, can all make plays. You know, they got good size. They got, like you said, a lottery pick type player in Walker. They got 2 bigs who know their roles.
Right, so let me ask you this.
They got a hell of a coach.
You've been saying for a while that you think that Houston is the best team. Like, you think that they're going to win the national title. You've been saying this for a couple of weeks.
Yep.
Give me your top tier, right? Are they in a tier all by themselves? Is there a top 4? Is there a top 5? Is there a top 12 and there's just not that much differentiation?
I think there's a top 4 now. I think there had been a top 3, and to me, Kansas has to be in that group now. Has to be in that group. And to me, here's the interesting part. I always start with 2 things. All right. So the 2 things I always start with are coaching and point guard play. Right?
Yes.
You hear it over and over and over.
Yes.
Right? Coaching, point guard play. All right. Houston, Kelvin Sampson. Kansas, Bill Self. Purdue, Matt Painter. Alabama, Nate Oates. 4 really good coaches, right? Agreed?
Absolutely.
All right, point guard play. We'll go next. Houston, Shed, Sasser. 2 of them, right? Pretty good. Purdue, only 1, but he's good. Braden Smith, he's young. He scares me a little bit. Kansas, DeJuan Harris. When he's good, they're great. He's got it in him. Got to be a little bit more assertive. And then Alabama, you know, they got 2 dudes really, you know, Bradley and Quinterly that share the load. Not great. It's not a great Sears play some point. So it's not a great point guard class this year. So to me, the point guards aren't quite as important because there's not as much disparity, but coaching. And to me, you got to have Houston in there. You got to have Kansas in there because of the coaching. You got to have Purdue in there because of the coaching. And you got to have Alabama in there because of the combination of coaching and talent.
Why no UCLA?
I know. Just depth for me. Just depth scares me. And Bonus staying out of foul trouble. He's like a young freshman. He almost doesn't know when to back off. He plays almost too hard.
You would have UCLA in your second tier?
Yeah, they'd be the next team for me.
Okay. I would have after that group, I said this last night, I got roasted for it. I think I would have Creighton next. After in the same tier as UCLA.
I have the same question about Creighton as UCLA, right? Except Creighton has a big who knows how to stay out of foul trouble. He's going to be.
That's what he does. You don't have to worry about foul trouble with them.
Right.
They don't commit fouls.
It's more injuries with them that you worry about. They were hurt last year in the tournament. Kalkbrenner was.
Who else was anyone else you would have in that tier?
In that next tier,
Arizona, are they there for you?
Maybe they're close. They're not quite there, but they're close for me.
I'm a little bit worried about having the 2 bigs playing together.
Yeah, I don't love it. Defensively, I don't love it. Well, last year, I didn't have a concern playing 2 bigs together.
I think when you get into March, the 2 most underseeded teams that we're going to have will be, I said this last night, Creighton and TCU.
Yeah.
They're now.
Baylor's kind of in the next tier, but I just don't think they can stop anybody.
I can't.
You can't outscore somebody for 6 straight games.
Yeah, I can't put in that conversation Miami, Baylor, Marquette, or Xavier as one of the favorites, top 2 teams, however you want to phrase it, just because they're not good enough on the defensive end of the floor. I'm not.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
I'm not entirely bought in on them in that spot. Listen,